Hello and welcome to my new channel. My name is Pex and I'll be drawing Lord Ganesh for you today. Lord Ganesh is one of Hindu's many gods. He is identified because he is very easy to recognize because he has an elephant head. So we're going to start by drawing his head, and I'm going to draw quite a big space. So I want you to have your piece of paper in a portrait, and we're going to start with a big-ish circle. And what I want to make sure that you have is you want to have a sharp pencil, which I don't, so I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. So a nice sharp pencil, and we're going to start with his head. And so I want you to give quite a lot of space, and I want you to think about the fact that the shaping and the spacing for his ears and his face and his trunk. So basically big squarish circle in the middle of your page-ish. We need space for his ears, will be on either side, and his crown. So he wears a crown, as do most of the Hindu gods. And so we're going to do a semicircle on top of the shape that you've already done. And we're just doing a rough sketch because what I want to do is I want to fill in the information with detail. So this is kind of going to go inwards, almost like a triangle. So you want to have that shape. And then around it, what I want us to do is I want us to do a big circle. So at the moment it just looks like, what is going on? So let me just check you can see that. Is it too bright? Just worried about the shadowing. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that. So we're going to start with a circle in the middle for his head. And then what we want to do is we want to turn this into his into the trunk. So what you want to do is break up the circle into quarters, and for the last quarter, if you just do 2 dots there, we're basically going to go all the way around like this. It's going to literally touch the bottom of the page, and it's going to curve upwards like so. Yeah? Okay, so that's the trunk of his, and that's the maximum height that we're kind of going to go to. So the trunk should be at the bottom, and then we're literally just kind of curving it around. And what I want you to do at the end is I want you to go narrow, and then literally you just draw an M at the end, and then we'll figure out what's going on with that in a second. The other thing I want us to do is at the top of the head, I want you to do a nice loose M, so like so, and that's going to form the top of his throne. And in the middle of that, I want us to do a nice big oval. And that's going to be a massive jewel that he's got on there. And then at the top of it, I want us to do a petal. And then S's, almost like S's on either side. So one there, and then double up. And then one on the other side, opposite to what we've done there. I'm trying to make it symmetrical, so try and make it as symmetrical as possible. And then on the inside of the jewel, we want to do little round circles. Usually the thrones, the crowns even, are made from gold, and there's lots of intricate detail. So for those of you who like taking time with it, it can be as detailed or as as simple as you want it to be, so don't worry about that. And then what I want us to do is that we're going to go over it in a pen, in an outline pen, and then you can see how some of the, so at the moment I want you to focus on the bits that we want to keep. So what we're going to do, so those are the S's that we did, and every now and again if you just do like a faint line on the other side just to make sure that it's at the right level. Just going to bring it down slightly. And then another curve like so there, one more on the other side. I think we can get one more in, and then a fancy one, or not fancy one, combiner, so that's the one at the bottom, like that, and that's going to be the middle jaw. Okay, so the thing that we need to worry about here is this all symmetrical? Okay, so our faint line of symmetry goes there, and then that's the bit for the crown. So yep, and we're going to have 2 circles on the ends, and you'll see why in a second. And some of the detail, what we're going to do is I'm going to just do straight into pen because it's so intricate. There's just not even any point trying to do it with a pencil first. So these are his ears. So the easiest way to do an ear for the elephant is to do a semicircle at the top, and it kind of curves round. And again, you want to do it almost like a loose S. So one, so can you see that being an S? And then that's the bottom of his trunk, and then his ear just kind of tails off. So, and again, this can be straight if you want it to. It could be curved if you want it to. Almost like a butterfly. Could be a butterfly, right? And the same on the other side. So on this side we're doing a backwards S. And again, just to align, make sure that your ear is roughly the same direction. It doesn't have to be exactly, because you know the angle and stuff, but just roughly the same. And then the foreheads are quite big, so where we broken up, where we did the last quarter was this, and this is probably the midway line, because that was the top of our circle. What you want to do is on top of this middle line that we've got, that's where you want to start the elephant's eyes from. So just a little bit higher than, so the line should be the middle of his eye, basically. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do petals. The easiest thing to do is to do the shapes first. Make sure you're happy with the size and the shape, because we're doing the same. It's always more difficult when you're keeping your page straight. And with it, what you want to do is you want to just outline the lines that you want to keep. So look, I'm just going to bring it in slightly, give him a thin lid, and then follow on for the eye, and then for the eye, nice big circle, because there's obviously a big elephant head that you want to keep. So that's the outer bit, and then for the inner bit, so if you do that, I know it looks weird at the moment, but basically what you're doing is you're almost like, I want to say Pac-Man. He looks like a Pac-Man, but let's focus on the other side. And what the idea is, we want to basically colour in all of that bit, and we just keep that inner circle white, okay, because that's what's going to give it its little, so follow it through. So we've got the same on this side, line going up, eyelid, bottom of the eye. Always difficult to do the other one in there. Make it. so it doesn't look strange. So that's the eye. That's see the eyes, and then like me and you, he has eyebrows, so we need to stick some eyebrows in there. And then in the middle, it's almost like a bindi, right? But it's not. So he is the son of Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. And Lord Shiva has a trishul, which is like a spear. So that's what he has on the middle of his, which is just like a fancy W, okay? So fancy W with pointy outies. And then it can come down as far as you want it to. And then sometimes it's just pretty with bits on the sides. Like so. And then in the middle as well, comes out like so, horizontal line, and then like that. And then here, what we want to do is where his trunk was, obviously we don't want it to be straight, so we just curve it around slightly like that, so it all fits in together. And then on one side, he has a tusk. And then what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna give his face a little bit of a shape. So slightly coming out where the eyes are, and then it just comes in again. Same on the other side, like so. And then these dents where they are, we're just gonna put his tusks in. So he always has one tusk that is full and one tusk that is cut off. There's a story behind that, so you're gonna have to find out. So the reason why I'm doing this is I was actually asked by one of my teacher friends who teaches religious studies, and the kids are learning about Hinduism, and we thought we did a little brainstorm, and then we thought it was a good idea for them to for me to do this, and for them to learn how to draw Ganesh. So for the ears, it's almost like a flap that goes over. So what you want to do is like a thin line and just the top of the ear and just curve it around. So it's like a flap, and we're going to do the same on the other side. And then he has loads of jewels and stuff, okay? So here, where we talked about the circle. So again, let's put this circle in and then try and make it the same on the other side. And following our pattern that we did there. So we're going to do a smaller inner circle. Circles going all the way around. Like so. And the same on the other side. And then basically I'm going to do lines, but those lines are like beads, so like pearls. So when we outline it with a black pen, I know where it's going to stop. So one there, and one there, so it's in threes. And the same on the other side, 1, 2, 3. And then it's just got the tassels at the end, like so. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to do a triangle. So also, again, these are beads. So line there, going over his ear on this side, like that. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. But again, it does not have to be in the same place because it's jewelry and it might move. So we want it to look realistic. And at the bottom, we're going to do a little gem petal on both sides, and then with some tassels on that. So what's going on here is literally like beads going all the way, like pearls. Okay, so we're gonna I'll fit that in like when we're doing it in the pen. And then what we want to do is we want to join the crown together. So this is going to be the bottom part, so that could just be a simple line. And then we're going to do a fat line and then a simple line on that side. And then the same. So let's get rid of some pencil marks that we don't need, just so I don't confuse you. So a fat line on this side, leave a gap, and then going over. And the idea behind this is all part of the crown, so you just got to make sure it's connected. Okay, so from this section we're just going to do semicircles. So do you remember our crown shape that we did earlier? Basically just want to stick with that. Again, always difficult to do symmetrical. So just, this is just opportunity to change any lines that you don't want, or you want to keep or don't keep, like that. Then we're going to do a line going across to make it meet. I think I did my crown a bit smaller. All good. And then let's do some jewels going all the way across, like that. And then what we want to do is this bit we're going to connect with, like, I want to say like a lotus, a tulip flower shape. So does that look like a tulip? And then we just exaggerate the shape. And then in the middle, I'm going to turn that into another jewel. Like that. And here, like, you can look at other ideas and stuff. You can change it around if you want to, and then the crown gets, like, obviously shorter and shorter, or smaller and smaller as it reaches the top. So that's what we want to try and ensure. So I'm going to do two, so it's just getting smaller, and then one big one there, like match or align our tulip. Maybe I'll curl it around. Like that. And then literally like something that just like a water droplet right at the top. And then here you can just fill in patterns, so we can have semicircles going on that line. And then circles, and then here we can do semicircles on the inside, and we can go into lots more detail, and again, like I said, as much detail that you want or don't want. So I'm going to put some diamonds in there, so 4 in there, 4 in there, and some of the crowns or thrones, they have this massive circle that goes around. So I know my circle might not be as, so there. Spend some time in the circle, draw a circle, go around something if that makes life easier, and then that way we can. So what I want you to do on the top is when you're happy with your circle line. It's almost like triangles. It's easiest to probably draw triangles going all the way around, but you want them to be curved at the top. Or they don't need to be actually. Keep them as triangles if you want to. So that's going off my page. Let's check that you can see. Oh my goodness, you can't even see anything that I'm doing. So sorry. Okay, so I'm just doing triangles around this big circle that I've done around his head. Like so. Okay, and then literally we're going to do an inner circle. And then a smaller one on the inside like that. And then here we're going to do an inner line, maybe dots in that one. Similar shape to what we did there, like a tulip, but and again, there's no rules about how you want it or how much detail you want in them and stuff. It's just, you know, play around with it. It could be left exactly like that, or you can go into more detail. Totally up to you. We'll go over it with an outline pen anyway, and then you can see some of the stuff that we can actually create on it. And what he usually has in his neck is obviously necklaces, so we can draw some necklaces. So we're obviously not going to do that, but that's just showing you the direction in what you can add. And it can get longer and longer. And then we can do a massive one that goes off the page. And then we can see, because I don't know if that we want to keep that. And then what I want him to be holding is I wanted to hold it a flower. So I wanted the stem to go through his trunk. So I want to squash his trunk even more. Like that. So I'm going to do a line coming out. Can you see that? And so you just the bottom of his trunk. And that shape's keeping the same, so that's fine. And then on the other side of this flower, I wanted to do a massive petal. It's like a lotus flower. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like that. What else do we need to have? So Hindus also have a big thing for the Om sign. Does anybody know what the Om sign looks like? So kind of like a fancy 3. So the bottom bit sticks out a little bit more. It's got a little hook in the middle. And then it's got a little line at the top like that with a dot or a diamond on the side. And the Om is a very sacred sound for Hindus, and it's a very spiritual symbol. So I don't know many Hindus that probably don't own something with that symbol on it. And it's said to make the sound, with the sound it makes, like so Om, is the sound of the universe. So it is very important to Hindus indeed. Especially because we believe in reincarnation. Or I say we as a collective because I am a Hindu. and Ganesh is actually one of my favourite gods. So when I was asked to do this, I was just like, yay, of course I will. So what I'm doing here is I'm just doing a pan down his nose, and I'm basically doing a diamond with curls or curly whirlies on either side. And the idea is that the diamond's getting smaller. So again, the easiest thing to do is if you basically did a line in the middle of your nostril, middle of the trunk, like that, you can kind of see where you wanna end it. So you could do your diamonds first, like so, and just get a little bit smaller as you're going down, probably up until you get to the flower. Like that. Whoops. Eyebrows, so eyelashes, so you might want to add some eyelashes to his eyes. And what else would you like to add? So if we add some detail around his necklace, just to make life easier for you. So again, a lot of them, so let's give him some pearls. So if we do the first one as circles, just make life easier, going all the way around. And then you can leave a gap, so that. I mean, it could be as simple as really tight lines going all the way down. That's if you think you need it, because we can't really see it. So maybe I'll stop the line one, but actually make it smaller so it actually doesn't look like it's falling off the page. There, let's change it slightly. But your picture, unique to you. I always say you could do whatever you want. This is just an idea. It's to help you get started, give you some shaping. Let's rub out the rest of it. There you go. Look. And there you have it, guys. That is Lord Ganesh for you in less than 30 minutes. But I'm going to outline it, so you might want to join part 2, which will be available shortly. Thank you so much. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, share it, leave a comment. I'm taking requests if there's anything else that you'd like for me to draw.